Welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we explore the moments that shape who we have become. Today, I'm joined by Billie Aadmi and Melissa Dilly, a co-founder of Amplify Impact Academy. Together, they help people break free from anxiety, doubt, and limited belief using practical tools that create calm, confidence, and clarity in life. Most important moments. It's really a pleasure to have you on the show, Billy and Melissa.
For having us. We're very happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So, Billy, what were some of the challenges that shape you into who you are today?
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have? Because not a lot. I'll chunk it up as we use that terminology in NLP. I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs growing up, being told who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to show up in the world. And there was always that little voice that said, there's something more. There's something beyond just going to school, getting married, having kids, getting a job, working 40 years and waiting for my pension and then dying. There was more to life than that. I did all those things, right? I got married, I had kids, I had a great job, I had the pension, the benefits, except I was still unhappy. And I started questioning, why am I still feeling this way when I have it all, right? Like we're in Canada, but the American dream, I have everything that I need. I have a beautiful home, a car, food on the table. I have all these things, but why am I still not being fulfilled? And as I started asking those questions, I started realizing what in my life is something that I want and what in my life is something that somebody told me I should have. When I started thinking about that, I realized that as much as I want to be married, the marriage I was in was not fulfilling me. It was not providing the relationship that I believed that I deserved. And, my job, I was a police officer for 20 years. As much as I loved doing it, it wasn't fulfilling that need for me to really show up in the world and make a difference, even though that's why I wanted to do it. So as I started exploring this, I realized okay, all these things are not mine. This is what my family told me to do. This is not what I want to do. And so when I decided to leave my marriage, decided to leave my job, I got a lot of pushback, right, from my family, because in our culture, this is not condoned. And even though I had my reasons to leave, it was not good enough, right? I should stay in my marriage no matter what, because it was, the kids would be harmed or something like that, right? There was all this guilt and shame that was being put on top of me. So I had to navigate through all those emotions of, should I do this? What I should do that? What will this think? What will that happen? And what will my children be? And what will my family think? What will society do? And all this chatter. And finally, when I discovered this work that we do, and we did this timeline therapy, which helps you release all these unresolved emotions, helps you release all these core self-limiting beliefs. As soon as it got quiet, I realized that I didn't need all of that none of this is outside of me. I am creating this havoc in my mind myself. My family isn't, my society isn't, it's me. It's my thoughts. As soon as I got that under control, my life completely shifted. And, that saying that other people's opinion of you is none of your business is true. And I don't care what other people think, because I am living my truth. I'm living with integrity, obviously kind, compassionate, empathetic soul. And now this is what we teach to others. Find your path and keep going.
Amazing, amazing. So, Melissa, what were some of the challenges that shape you into who you are today?
So for me, Billy and I have very, very different backgrounds. And I was very fortunate I was born in Australia, I was raised in Japan, and being from the age of 6 and being raised in another culture with another language that I didn't speak, when I looked so different to the rest of society that I was living in, it did really shape me to recognize that we are all humans and we all have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 mouths, and we can come into one mouth, yes, into this world. It's late in my time now. We come into this world and we all have hopes and dreams, and it just builds resilience and tolerance. And so that was the world that I grew up in. And still found myself in adulthood getting in my own way or getting stuck, or even when I got let go from my career of 24 years that I loved, and big fish buys little fish, and they gave me, told me, we're done, we don't need you anymore, goodbye, you have an hour to clear out your desk, that I get in my own head about what's wrong with me, how come they kept other people and they didn't keep me, right? And this is all very normal and very human the way that our brains are programmed. However, coming into this work and starting to learn about my unconscious mind and the power of that unconscious mind and the fact that we are all creating our own reality each and every single day through our thoughts, that we have the ability to create a new reality, to shift our thoughts in order to do that, so that instead of being over on victim island and woe is me and I feel so sorry for myself because I lost my job after 24 years, that I could look instead to how is this happening for me? How can I move forward? And that has been such a wonderful learning, because when you have that and you have the tools of the unconscious mind, you don't ever have to be stuck again. Sure, you might end up over on victim island for a few minutes because life happens and we all can have our little sob story and our little pity party for a short amount of time. However, we don't live there. We can go there for a little bit and then go, I don't like this. It feels yucky. It's not serving me. What can I do to get back over here, get out of my own way, and keep moving forward? And that's what I love about this work, and being able to do that and being able to share that with others.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I'm so glad with the work people actually more like do with Amplify. It's a pleasure having you here once again. So, Billie, you talk about being stuck in a toxic pattern. How do those patterns usually form?
From our thoughts. This is a basic question. This is a basic answer, because think about it. If someone says something to me, right, or looks at me a different way or a specific way, it's my thought process that says, is that person mad at me? Or did I do something to hurt that person? Or is that person insulting me? Is that person pushing me down? And I start thinking all these negative thoughts. And then it leads to those questions, as Melissa just said. Well, am I not lovable? Am I not good enough? Am I powerless? And I start asking myself all these questions. And the more I replay those thoughts, the more those beliefs start turning into like actual patterns, that I start telling myself I'm not good enough or I'm not powerful, cancel. I don't want my unconscious mind to think that, because I don't think that. However, that's exactly how that happens. When someone says, and I teach this to my children now, I have 2 young children and they're 9 and 10, and sometimes they fight. And my daughter will sometimes say, oh, well, he made me mad. And I'm like, no, he didn't. You made me mad. Well, he hurt me. No, you hurt you because you didn't like what he said and you let what he said control your thought process. And now you are feeling bad because of the mind-body connection that everybody knows, that, the thoughts we think affect our nervous system, and then the cortisol gets released because I get stressed out, or the adrenaline because I get into fight or flight mode, and that's what makes me feel bad. And then I start feeling sad, and then that lowers my vibration, and therefore I start actually being, well, then the sob story comes. Why always me? Why does this always happen to me? And then drama that happens, and then here you are being stuck on victim island, right? Life is happening to you. Oh, why is this happening? This was me, by the way. Like I laugh and joke about it now, but I'm a real estate investor too. I say I own lots of property on victim island. I used to invite my friends over for margaritas and say, hey girls, come over, listen to my sob story. Why is this happening to me? I can't believe this person did this, and I can't believe that happened. And then finally, when I stopped it, sold all my property, literally fire sale, sold it all, and I moved over to Solution City. Now I know that nobody can make me feel a specific way except me.
Amazing.
And I teach it to my children. We teach it to all our students, that you are in control of your thoughts, nobody else. You are in control of your life as well. And that's what we mean by being at effect or at cause. When you're at effect, you're on victim island, right? Things are happening to you. When you're at cause, this is where you are in your power. And that's what we teach in our school is empowerment. How do you get back your power that you gave away? You gave that away. You made the choice to give that away. And sometimes people don't like to hear this. Trust me, I didn't want to hear this story, because of course, then I had to put the blame on myself and nobody else. And that's the thing about accountability, taking responsibility for where you are in life. Where you started has no effect on where you can go. But the fact that I was the only girl in my family and I was born into an East Indian family, I used that for so many years to stay small. And I said, that doesn't mean anything. I could be whoever I want to be. And now I am. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing, especially more like with the analogy you gave, the fact that everything, all the patterns that get to happen is the part that we give them permission, especially if someone says something to us, instead of just saying, yeah, it doesn't matter. We give them permission, our thought, and that thought actually degenerates into a whole lot of things, and it becomes a roller coaster that keep happening on and on and on and on and becoming process. And it's really just amazing when just this box design. Yeah, it's a whole lot.
Real estate. Mind is real estate. So are you going to let people come in and rent for free in your home? No, right? You want people in there that are actually going to help grow and not be taking up
Yeah.
space. That's like, there's so many different analogies we can use. The point is you have control over this 100%.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
other
thank
piece
you.
I want to add there too is perception is projection. So when someone tells you that you can't do something, it actually has nothing to do with you. And it has
Yeah.
everything to do with them. And sure, they might believe they cannot do whatever it is that you want to do because they don't have the same dream, they don't have the same skill set, etc. However, you have that dream, you have those skills, you have that desire and motivation. So go do it. Don't listen to the other person. All it means is they can't do it, even though it comes out of their mouth as you can't do it. We invite you to ignore that kind of response and recognize it has nothing to do with you and everything to do about their belief in themselves.
Wow, this is really amazing. I think they just speak volumes to one quote that I hate. Take to heart, why do I doing what I do? I think it's the fact that I hear it most often in this particular podcast, the Founders Podcast, and he said, critic don't know shit. And if critic just say anything to me, I'm like, they have not done what I've done before. Why should I listen to them? They have not gone through similar, a whole lot of this. So why should our opinion count? So it's, yeah,
Exactly.
that just meta model just helped me most times being that when they say, I just be like, wow, who's that critic? Does it know what does it know what this moment is? And I think it's really lovely. So Melissa, how do situational anxiety differ from long-term anxiety, and why does traditional therapy often miss it?
So, situational anxiety, or what we call acute anxiety, is anxiety about a specific event that might be coming up for you. It might be a job interview, maybe it's a first date, maybe it's an exam that you need to write, maybe it's moving home. Whatever that is, it has an end date in the near future. Long-term anxiety or general anxiety is just when you tend to go through life feeling anxious about everything and you can't put your finger on exactly what it is that's causing that anxiety, and there's no specific end date to it. And so we have different tools that we use to help people through this anxiety. And let's first define anxiety. Anxiety is worrying about something in the future, which means it hasn't happened yet. And so that means it's imagined. And the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagined and real. And so you are imagining the horror show, in other words, things going wrong, and that's why you're feeling anxious. And the anxiety is a messenger from your unconscious mind going, knock, 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 hello. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Start focusing on it going right, and then the anxiety can go away. We use that with acute anxiety. When it's more general anxiety, we use a modality called timeline therapy, where we are releasing our 7 negative emotions of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame. And when we clear up all those stuffed down emotions in our body that we've been carrying like a bag of rocks for a lifetime, it also helps release the anxiety, because the combination of all of that we've been carrying in our body is part of what's causing the anxiety in the first place. So we have powerful tools to release each. When it comes, I think you asked about talk therapy and why that isn't the solution. Talk therapy is excellent at bringing awareness to people around what their actual problem is, because sometimes people have a hard time knowing even what the problem is. And it's also about using the right tool for the job when it comes to releasing whatever's going on for them. We work with the unconscious mind as the right tool for the job because it allows us to release all of that pent up emotion and the anxiety very quickly, because the unconscious mind is so fast. Talk therapy, on the other hand, has us talking about the problem over and over again. And as I said earlier, the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So every time we talk about it, we relive it in our nervous system. And that's firing all of that stress in our body, and it is deepening the neurology of that event. And we don't want to deepen the neurology of it. We don't want to continuously fire the nervous system. We want to release it from the body. Well, the unconscious mind is the home of the emotional body. So we have to work with the unconscious mind in order to release all of the emotion.
Yeah, amazing. The conscious mind is the home of the body. And the fact that, the mind
The
does have
emotional
to.
body, yes.
Yeah, this is really lovely. I think it's the fact that a whole lot of things actually look in here, especially the fact that, anxiety is worrying about the future, and there's no difference between it when you're looking at it from the perspective of the nervous system. And it's really a whole lot, and it just shows that there's a whole lot to actually learn in here. And I'm glad to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So, Billy, can you actually explain the idea of moving from a victim island to solution city?
Yeah, so a little bit how I explained it before, that at Victim Island, you're what we call being at the effect. It's an NLP term, at the effect of life. This means life is happening to you, right? So you're always trying to figure out, I'm here because of this reason. I'm here because of this person. This is happening because of this. Our tagline for our company is be happy, healthy, wealthy. So if people are not happy, wealthy, if they're at the effect or on Victim Island, it's because of some other reason why they're not happy, healthy, wealthy, right? Oh, it's because of the market that, I'm not wealthy. Oh, it's because, I'm a girl and I can't be, happy. Or it's because, oh, my family had heart disease. So that means, I can't be, like, cancel all that nonsense. Do you see how it's all the blame game? It's all like here, here, here. So we're saying that because you create your life, and everything that is created is because of, your internal thought process. If you can stay over here on Solution City, even when things are not going your way, how can you still move forward? Right? Because there's something that we teach in one of the presuppositions of NLP is that there's no failure, there's just feedback. So if something in your life is not working for you, instead of getting stuck here, oh, why does this always happen to me? And oh, it's because of that thing and all the drama, right? It's like, no, okay, universe speaks to us all the time. Our unconscious mind, our higher self is always speaking to us. However, most of us don't listen because we're too busy putting the blame game out there. Yeah. If we just get still and say, okay, how is this happening for me? Okay, this didn't work out. What did I learn? What is the universe wanting to teach me here? What can I take from this and keep moving forward? How can I keep taking action steps towards what I want instead of focusing on what I don't want? Because remember, what you think of actually, we're always manifesting. That's this one thing about manifestation that people don't realize, that we are always manifesting. Guess what you're manifesting? Your thought process. So we always ask people, well, this is always showing up. We're like, okay, rewind the tape that's playing in your head. What have you been focusing on? What has been the movie that's been playing on the screen? And a lot of them, guess what, are playing the horror show. So guess what's showing up in your life? The horror show, right? The universe wants to provide, right? It's just there to serve. It's indifferent. So, obviously it wants us to live our highest path and, evolve our soul into all the things that we came down here to do. However, most people are stuck in that, we call it the matrix of, this is what I'm supposed to do and all these da-da-da-da. We're like, no, let's take a pause. Let's take inventory of your life. Where in your life are you giving your power away? Side circumstances. Where in your life can you now take your power back and say, I'm going to take accountability for my life? Now, this is the part where people are like, don't really want to do that, because it usually means difficult decisions. It means taking some difficult actions. It means putting up boundaries in your life, right? Like, I'm a recovering people pleaser of the best of them, right? I wanted to do everything to make people happy, and I was suffering. And now, even especially as a mom, like, there's lots of moms that are like, they have to serve everybody else instead of themselves. Yeah. And then once they realize that they have, they're giving from an empty cup, and then they're wondering why their life is not where it was. That's exactly where I started. So what we teach people is that we have the roadmap, right? If you know that movie Moana, Moana goes off into the, over the reef, and she doesn't know where she's going. However, she's got Maui, right? Maui's going to help her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people just go out there and say, I'm just going to figure it out. And then they get caught in a storm, and guess what? There's a storm. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to go back to Victim Island. At least I know what's there. We're saying that if we can give you the tools, which the tools are how to learn what's happening up here, right? We have these tools. We have state management tools. We have timeline therapy, which helps release, the limiting beliefs and all the trauma. We have hypnotherapy to help with the future. We literally have a map. Now, the key is we tell people, I'm going to sit there with you in the boat and I'm going to help you steer. However, you're the one who's going to be in the rowboat steering the boat, right? And the first time we do it, it's going to be the most difficult because it's going to take a lot of effort. Most people don't want to put the effort in. They say, well, at least I know what's over here. And we call that comfortable. So we say the first time is the hardest, just like anything. The first time you try to ride a bike, the first time you go bungee jumping, the first time you anything, it's always the hardest. The next time, as you're practicing these tools and you start building the new neural pathways, build the new strategies and the new programming, every time you get closer and closer, the next time, something happens and it blocks you over to victim island, because life throws you curveballs. That's the whole purpose of us experiencing life down here. You won't stay there very quick. You'll realize, you know what? Nothing is happening here for me. I have to get over here to Solution City and keep moving forward. And that's the difference is that, okay, you're going to get here, use the, you can see, I love analogies. Use the analogy of a checkerboard, right? There's black and white squares. Life will get you on black squares. The question is, how long do you stay there? And how quickly can you get back to the white squares? And we have a world of tools and techniques. We call them the world's most powerful modalities because it teaches you how to get back over there instantly, not years and years of talk therapy. And I got to go through all these emotions. Literally within seconds, minutes, it helps you get out of the funk, get rid of the horror show, get back into the love story, and then keep living your life and moving forward.
Amazing. Thank you a whole lot. I think the victim outline just showed the fact that most times it relies on our thoughts. A whole lot of sabotaging thoughts that we actually get to kind of make reference of. And the solution set is more of, now that you know that it's more like from the perspective of the thought, taking actions is what leads us to the solution city. And it's really amazing. So Melissa, what does amplifying your impact truly look like when someone is aligned and regulated?
When people are aligned and regulated, they literally are limitless. They can go out into the world and do whatever it is that they came into this world to do, fulfill their mission. And we absolutely love that because we did all come here with a mission. And the fastest path to evolution for humans is to fulfill our mission in this lifetime and move on to the next lifetime. And we called our academy Amplify Your Impact because we want each and every human to be able to fulfill their mission and amplify their impact in terms of positive impact on the rest of humanity in the process. And as a result, we have a nonprofit called Girls Matter, and we support keeping girls in school in Uganda and Kenya, stopping teenage marriages, and breaking the poverty cycle, one girl, one family, one village at a time, and empowering these girls to a better life, which has a generational positive ripple effect because an educated mother is more than twice as likely to ensure her own children are educated. And this is literally how we can bring countries out of poverty, is by educating the girls. And when we started, the goal was if we can just help one girl, we've made a difference, and we've helped many more than that. And together we can literally break the poverty cycle, one girl, one family, one village at a time.
Thank you, Melissa, for what you guys are doing. So, Billie, what will be your final words to the audience?
What I always leave people with is that if anybody listening, if something has resonated with you, that means the universe is speaking to you to seek more information in this area. So if something that we said, like something like Victim Island, oh, that sounds very familiar. Or like, oh, I'd rather be on Solution City. And oh, I never thought of it that way, right? As soon as you said that, I never thought of it that way. You just fired a new neural pathway. You just created a new way, a new thought pattern that now is going to create ripple effects in your life. And the more you can create that ripple effect is moving more in that direction. That's literally how both Melissa and I got to the point where we reconvened in this lifetime to do this work, is we followed those breadcrumbs. The universe is always speaking to us. And so if one little piece of information has triggered something, it's like sometimes one conversation can literally change the entire trajectory of your life. And that's kind of happened for us. And so pay attention to that. right? We always say, pay attention to the things. Sometimes we're so in our just, programming and our conscious robot mind that we don't even look at the beauty around us. We don't look at like, maybe I could go in a different direction and life
Yeah.
could be different. And so if something
Amazing.
resonated, we do a monthly free webinar called Meet Your Unconscious Mind. So if even that piece that you're like, oh, I didn't know anything about the unconscious mind, which was me. I had no idea what it did. And that's why we do this monthly webinar called Meet Your
Yeah.
Unconscious Mind. Learn, do a little meet and greet and be like, hey, I had no idea my unconscious mind did all this stuff for me, right? It's your body, it's your mind. You should know how it works. And we do that
Yeah.
once a month. If you want to move, like we have so many programs that we can, share information with and, help people get out of their own way.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Billy, and thank you, Melissa. So, Melissa, if my audience is going to listen or connect with you again, how can they reach out and where is the best platform?
The best platform is our website, which is www.amplifyimpactacademy.com. And you can go to programs on the website. You will find the Meet Your Unconscious Mind free workshop Billy just mentioned and be able to register for the following one. We also have our podcast on that website called Clear the Screen, and people can tune in and listen and learn from the podcast, as well as all of our other trainings are there, and people can learn more about them and step into their new version of themselves, learning about their unconscious mind by showing up and joining one of our trainings.
Yeah, thank you so much, Billy. Thank you, Melissa. This has really been
Very
amazing, especially what you do, not just the cost of changing the whole lot of thing, but the fact that one girl at a time, changing the whole of perception. Yeah, that really got me. It's really amazing. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the compassion and the grounded wisdom you brought to this conversation. A true reflection of the making of me. To our listener, you can find the link to Amplify Impact Academy and the work on the show notes. Once again, it's really a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. And thank you.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to have you on the show, Melissa.
Thank you very much, Aro.